Alright, let's do this. So about 7 seconds ago, I made a decision, right? And that decision was to just fucking do stuff more and think about it less and see how shit turns out. And I have made this decision multiple times in the past. I'm pretty sure I made it like a week ago and like 3 months ago and 7 months ago and 2 years ago. And I'm probably gonna make it many times going into the future, because for me, I can't really just wake up one day, decide to live or be different and like snap my fingers and it's done and that change is enacted and now I am just like a sicker, better version of Joey D. You know, it would be nice if it happened like that, but it doesn't really. For me, it's more of like a continuous, repetitive process of just throwing shit at the wall. And like in this analogy, you are both the shit and the wall, right? And so like you throw shit at the wall, you're like, right, it's 2018, I'm gonna be fucking different. And this is all the ways that I'm gonna be different. And then you throw a load of shit at the wall and most of the shit falls off. Like maybe a bit of shit sticks and then like 2019 comes around, you're like, I'm gonna be a sick fuck. And then you like throw a load of more shit at the wall and like most of the shit falls off in a little bit, you know, and the accumulation of the shit on you, you're like a shit monster in this analogy. Accumulation of that over time makes you into like a different person, right? It was unnecessary for me to say shit this many times, right? Let me talk about it in a slightly different way. I have to make decisions again about like myself, my life, how I'm gonna be, who I wanna be, how I'm gonna do it, you know, how you're gonna execute shit. Because I think life is a bit like playing Sonic, you know, like Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, I don't know how many Sonics do you know, really, but not the version of Sonic where he's going like left to right across the screen. I mean like the version where he's in like this half pipe kind of thing, and you're controlling him from behind, and he's constantly going forwards. That's you, the inevitability of, you know, progressing towards death. And to avoid the spikes or to get the rings, you have to go like up the side of the half pipe, you know, and so you press left and he goes up left and he might like avoid some spikes in the middle, and you press right and he goes up right and he might like get the rings, and like that's you going like off, you know, away from the normal path, right? And if you press left, yeah, he goes up to the left, but he doesn't just stay there, yeah, because there is a force pulling him down, pulling him back into center, right? And for Sonic in this game, that force is simply gravity. For us, right, that force is like just the weirdness of being a fucking human who has mad tendencies towards sticking in routines, you know. And what I'm saying is, if you don't make the effort to like get up the side, you know, because the force is constantly pushing you, like the whole universe is conspiring. It's not actually conspiring, but it's as if it is conspiring to make you a fucking normal person, a super normal, stay in your lane motherfucker who you don't even know what's up the sides, lad. You never peeked over there, you never even thought about going there. To you, that's just like, oh shit, man, that's steep, man, don't want to go there, it's like scary and shit, right? And I think personally, right, I have to repeat to myself, right, Joe, just go up the fucking sides, lad. Just get up, get up that. I hope I explained that well. You see, there's always the temptation, right? Temptation is probably an understatement, to just accept what you have right now and coast along and essentially give up on being like ambitious, right? Particularly as you get older, it's tempting to just say, right, I guess this is like about where my life ends up, nothing's going to change too drastically, is it? So I'll just flick into cruise control and coast along. And what you're doing there is actually fairly logical, right? You're taking the trajectory of your life and you're saying, well, it's gone like this so far, so it's probably going to continue going like this. And statistically, if we're talking in terms of probability, you have a high chance of being right. But guess what? Right? Anomalies do actually exist. And what I'm saying is, you could fucking be one if you want. Yeah? It doesn't have to go like this. It is possible that it could go like this. And you know what this point is, by the way, this inflection point here, that's day one, right? And every day has the potential to be day one. And if I could make you believe anything just by like clicking my fingers and convincing you or hypnotizing you, right, it would be that. It would be that today can be day one, right? Can be the first day of the rest of your fucking life. About once a month or so, I'll open up a notepad or a blank Word document and I'll write day one at the top of the page. Then I write down a few things about like just what I want from life, how I want to be a better dude, some general aims and aspirations. And then a few weeks or like a month later, when I feel like I've slipped back into the centre and I'm not really keeping to what I wrote, I'll just start again. I'll write day one again. And the first few times, kind of felt a bit bad about it because I felt like doing it again and again just took away from the meaning of it. Like I was kind of just kidding myself because I'd done it before, wrote out all these like goals and dreams and shit, and then I hadn't really made much progress towards them. So maybe it was just a bullshit exercise, right? And then I realised this is me just throwing shit at the wall, and even if most of it falls, like some of it sticks. And I think you only go stale when you just stop throwing the shit, if you know what I mean. You know, if you actually stop believing that today actually could be day one, right? It is day one, right? It actually always is day one. So the shit that I am throwing at the wall today is the idea of just doing stuff and thinking about it less. And the reason for that is that like when I write down all the stuff I want to like do or achieve, I usually follow a list of aims with like a list of actions, the kind of how to the what. This sounds like a cheesy self-development video, right? It's not supposed to be like that. Anyway, I get halfway through this list, right, of like how I'm gonna do shit or the kind of actions that I'm gonna take, and I stop and think, why are you writing this down? There's no need, because you actually know how, right? And this is gonna sound weird, but I think I know how to do anything, right? And I think you probably know how as well. To generalize, we all pretty much know how to do whatever we want, right? And the point is, like, if you don't know how, you know how to know how, which is the same thing, right? So it's never knowing how that stops you, right? Why aren't you rich? Is it because you don't know how to get rich? No. Why aren't you in good shape, right? I'm not saying you're not. You might be in great shape. Maybe you are. If you are, ignore this example. It's not an accusation, but let's say you're not. Is it because you don't know how to get in good shape? No, right? Why can't you play the piano? Is it because you don't know how to play the piano? No. Even if you don't know how, the reason you can't isn't because you don't know how, it's just because you didn't do it yet, right? Because I would put it to you that you do know how to play the piano, right? Even if not immediately, you could sit there, like, you know how, right? And if you want some instruction, you know, I'll go further, right? I'll tell you, this is how you play the piano, right? Step one, learn the fucking piano, yeah? I don't know, Google some shit, search YouTube for some beginner tutorials, learn to read music, get some lessons if you can afford them, buy a piano if you can afford one, practice, right? And the same goes for pretty much everything, right? Knowing how is never what stops you. It's always just a matter of doing it. So anything you want to do that you haven't done yet, the reason that you haven't done it is just because you haven't done it. It's not because you don't know how, right? And this is the fucking scary thought, right? That what does that mean, right? So what is the like logical next step, right? This is the logical next step for me anyway, right? This is quite scary in a way. It's kind of inspiring but also scary, right? I think we are all very capable of maybe not anything but most things. Even normal people, right? Like you and I, yeah, of normal attributes, right? Normal intelligence, normal work ethic. The scary shit is we can actually probably get what we want from life if we actually just fucking do it. You know, you don't have to be special to do special, but you do have to do. Does that make sense? Anyway, there's some shit. Hope it sticks. Cheers to being a sick fuck. Day one, motherfuckers.
They see me rolling, they hate it.